Welcome everyone to SJREI, our March meeting. I hope that you're all doing well. I just have to give a little bit of a story. You know, growing up in the Midwest, March always brought snow. And we kind of forget that here when we're in California because, you know, it's so beautiful and we have everything blooming, looking great. And I was making a trip from here to Tampa. And so I had on flip-flops and jeans and a short sleeve shirt and got on the airplane and I had a layover in Denver. And of course, Denver had winter and had a lot of winter. Like my flight got delayed 4 hours. And I swear to goodness, like they did not heat the terminal. Like it was so cold inside, and it reminded me why I left the Midwest and why I love warm California and warm Florida, because it was terrible. Absolutely terrible. All right, welcome to SJREI. I hope you're all doing well. You'll remember SJREI is where deals happen, and you can always ask me anything real estate. I may have an answer for you, or I may not. We're here to create networking opportunities. We're here to provide you opportunities, but we by no way endorse, warrant, or guarantee any kind of people's opinions, the information, the services, anything that's mentioned or promoted by speakers, presenters, or sponsors. So we highly encourage you to do your own due diligence on everything that you invest in. It's your money. If you earn on it, like you make a profit, we'll let you keep it. And honestly, if you lose money, we'll let you keep the loss too. So our mission is to provide education, networking, and inspiration to enable you to make wise and profitable investments. And we say SJREI is where the deals happen because 78% of our regular attendees have done business together. So stick with us. We're going to be showing you deals. You'll see some deals that I'm doing that you can participate in. And I just know as the rest of the season comes out, you're going to be excited as I am. I also want to mention to you, a lot of people are asking, are we going to start going live again? And actually, what we are doing is a combination of virtual and live. We will have 2 live events a year where you'll get together and be able to network with other investors. And then the other ones will be online just to save the time of gas and, you know, commuting, all of that. So we're going to try and make it beneficial for everybody. We're doing a mixed partial live, partial virtual. Okay, market overview. Wow, a lot's happened since our last meeting. Even a lot's happened just since last week. So we know that we have the war with Russia and Ukraine, and all kinds of sanctions are happening. And really, like, the market is up and then it's down and it's kind of all crazy. And people are wondering, are we heading into a bear market? What's really happening here? And I can tell you, I just got back from a seminar with some of the top leaders like Ron LeGrand and Robert Allen and some of the top leaders. And we had an opportunity to kind of talk about what's happening and where things are going. And so I want to share some of that with you. So like I mentioned, you know, the Dow has slid. This is the 4th consecutive week. It's actually maybe the 5th. S&P is down. NASDAQ is down. Crude oil went up over $100 a barrel. It's pulled back now, thankfully. Copper is at an all-time high. Commodity prices are the highest since 1974. That means 40 years. For those of you that kind of think the 70s is still 30 years ago, it's 40 years ago. And this is the highest price that we've seen commodities. And here's another one to be aware of. Futures on grains are up 50% since the war. Okay, so this is all kind of scary, but it's also kind of good, especially if you're a real estate investor, and we'll see why. Okay, so if you don't remember your history well, or you weren't in the market, back in the 1980s, we had interest rates that were set in the 20s. Like my first home, I bought a HUD home, I got to buy it $500 down, and my interest rate was 21%. And so guess what? Even if interest rates go up, real estate still sells. Now, the price might be a little bit lower, but until it becomes this balancing act, what you will see is that as rates start to go up, more people will flood into the market, because in their mind, they're thinking they have to get in before they lose the chance to get in, before they lose the affordability. And that demand will continue to push prices up. Now, here's some statistics I didn't put in here, but I'll just share with you. A balanced market in the United States has about 1.2 million active listings. We right now as a nation have about 234,000 active listings. So for a balanced market, we are short almost 1 million listings right now. And everybody keeps saying, are we in a real estate bubble? No, we don't have enough supply for the demand that we have right now. And why is that? Well, people are kind of afraid to move because they don't know where they're going to go, right? There's no inventory. People are staying where they're at. They're taking out home equity lines, and they're refinancing their loans where they're at rather than moving. And so it's really important to understand what's behind what you're seeing, because you're going to hear things on the news that's going to be talking about, oh my gosh, we're in a real estate bubble, the market's going to crash, all this other stuff. But you can't crash when there's not enough of the inventory. Now, don't take that as there won't be a pullback, because there will be a pullback. I'm not saying that we won't see that, but the pullback is not going to be a 2008 type crash that a lot of people are envisioning. And if you look at our interest rates, you know, where do you go when you're at 0%? Either you create inflation, which means your debt's being inflated away, or you start doing some increases to allow you room to then decrease it again. And so we know possibly, you know, there may be another rate increase here. Maybe not. Maybe with the uncertainty of the Ukraine war, the Fed won't do it. So we'll just have to see what happens. So let's talk about the benefit of real estate, right? So if you buy a house and you have debt, and you have your debt fixed for 30 years, it may seem like it's really expensive today, but what's it going to feel like 30 years from now? Ask anyone who bought real estate back in the 70s and 80s. You know, they were paying $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 for the homes here in the Bay Area that are now selling for $2 million. Okay, what if they had never paid down the debt and they only paid interest only to buy that house? Would that have been considered a smart investment? Most likely it would have been, most likely. And the benefit of having real estate that has income is that your income on that real estate adjusts, and usually it adjusts above the rate of inflation. And the value goes up with the income. So having real estate is kind of one of those inflationary plans that you can put in place, like right now, as things in our world are a little bit uncertain. Now, I wanted to also kind of point out to you, I mentioned that commodities are at the top of the market, like it's the highest it's been in 40 years. Now, if you think about it, what is a house? What is a piece of real estate? Whether it's commercial, retail, apartments, what is it? It's actually a basket of commodities. You've got your lumber, you've got your plumbing, you've got your electrical, your windows, and each one of those comes from the raw materials, which is a basket of commodities. And so I had another situation happen to me. Don't feel sorry, it turned out well. One of my tenants torched one of my properties. Now you might think, crap, no, this was good. Because I bought the property and she burned it down, and the insurance came in and told me how much it was going to cost to rebuild the property. Now, even in California, people don't think this happens, but even in California, the cost to rebuild was higher than what I could sell the property for. think about that. The cost to rebuild was higher than what I could sell the property for. So that means that each one of these pieces in here, each one of these commodities cost more than one that was already put together. So if you can buy the basket of commodities for less than what it would take to build it, you're already buying below market, even though it may appear at market price. Does that make sense? So just pay attention to all this, dig into the details. Don't just take whatever the talking heads are telling you on the radio or TV. Be your own thinker. So what do? First of all, make sure you have adequate liquidity. We may see things happen. I know in Europe, in a lot of those places, they're having runs on the banks. You know, it's creating a little bit of fear. And so even though the dollar value is going down, you still need the dollar to buy things. So keep adequate liquidity. And then buy assets such as real estate. I'm not a proponent telling you to go buy gold or other currencies. I'm just giving you ideas of other currencies like crypto, gold, silver, copper, futures, stock, in the things that we all know we need. Okay. And then just a reminder, if you look back in history and you look at who has created the wealth and passed the wealth on, the wealth passed to the next generation was done through owning tangible assets that adjusted during inflation with their income, and they had fixed debt. Now, if you're a follower of Robert Kiyosaki or not, I'm sure you've heard him say, savers are losers. Now, he is not trying to insult them. It is kind of a pun on the words. But what he's saying is that when you try to save your money, you're saving against inflation. You're not going to win. And right now, those who are in the higher net worth areas, they're running out to get covered debt. They're making sure that on their commercial properties, they're taking as much debt as they can that's covered by the income because they're borrowing at something that's less than inflation. If your inflation is 7% and you're borrowing at 3%, you're essentially being paid to borrow money. Okay, so I'm not advocating running out and using credit cards and all that stuff. I'm talking very clearly covered debt. Covered debt means that your income easily covers your debt. And I put the caveat on there, even if your income dropped 70%, or I'm sorry, dropped to 70%, so dropped 30%, can you still cover the debt? That's a point of peace of mind. That's where you can stay in the game. Okay. So speaking of opportunities, I'm going to share with you 3 of them tonight. And I'm very excited to share these with you. The first one is one that I'm calling a legacy opportunity. This is where you get to partner with me and my family and one other family that I've already selected, and I have 1 space left. So what it is we are buying this property that you can kind of see here in the yellow with the red arrow. Okay, so it's right here. This is in St. Petersburg, and this water that you see here is Tampa Bay. Now, this is a property on an open canal, deep water canal that gets you right out to Tampa Bay. So this is one of those properties that when you get a hold of it, you don't let go of it. What we're doing is we're creating an LLC for 3 families to own this property, and each family's share will pass on to the next generation. This is a super deal where you can get in for this opportunity for only $250,000 to own 1/3 of this house. And here's a picture of the house. It is not pretty. That's why we're getting such a deal on it. The purchase price is going to be $1.25 million, and our rehab is about $375,000. We are adding about 500 square feet. We're going to even out the roof here. And we're going to make sure that it exploits the views of the water here. When we're done, the market is easily going to support a value of $2.2 million. And just as it is right now, without any of the renovations that we're doing, the monthly rents on it for the rental market are 15,000. So we know that it's going to be a great cash flow property. So if this is something you're interested in, I'll tell you in a few minutes how to reach out to me. This is one that I'm going to be very honest. We want to choose people that we want to spend time with because we're going to be sharing this for a lifetime. All right. So my next opportunity is a flip opportunity. This one is here in San Jose. You can see this beautiful house here with the tarp on the car. The car's gone now. Anyway, we're buying this house for 1.16. The rehab's about 175,000. And when we're done, it will sell around 1.6 million. Now, like I do with most of my investments, I give you a preferred interest rate plus profit share. On this one, we're looking for $300,000. These go quickly. Typically, when I send out a request, it takes less than an hour and I'm fully funded. So if this is something you're interested in, make sure that you reach out to me. Now, for either of these two opportunities, you can reach out to me at support@sjrei.org. And Jeff, would you put that in the chat for everyone? That's support@sjrei.org. If you have interest, reach out to me. We'll have a conversation and we'll see if you're a fit for the projects and if we're a fit for you. Okay, now this next one is a Godzilla of opportunities. And I can't share a lot because we're still putting together the final touches, but I can share enough to tell you that you want to be watching for this. Now, in 2 weeks, I'm going to send out the details on this opportunity. And this is one of those things that when you tell your friends and family about it, they're going to get mad at you and go, why didn't you tell me, right? I can't, I'm so excited about this. So watch your email because on March 29th, which is it 29th or 28th? 2 weeks from now, Tuesday, 2 weeks from now, we will be sending out an email to you. And the email will say, this is it. Do you want in? Now, you guys have a head start because you're here tonight. You guys get to see this. When you see this email, open it, read the details, and let me know because this will go fast. This is something you want to be part of. Okay, enough of that. Actually, I'm pretty excited about that. I hope you are too. Now, to our speaker tonight. Mr. Al Williamson, are you there? There he is. Our landlord scientist. Yes. So Al and I are good friends. We've been part of masterminds together. He's trained not only myself, but my son. And I'm going to tell you right now, Al knows how to create income where most people would look away from it. And you've heard me say it before. Deals are not found, deals are created. I think Al needs to say income's not found, income is created, because I'm telling you, this gentleman knows how to do it. And that's why he is the scientist. Now, he's written 3 publications. He's been a real estate investor since 1996, so he's not new to this. And he is a keynote speaker that we are honored to have him on our stage. So let's give Al a round of Zoom applause. Yay! Welcome, Al.
Right on. Hey, thank you so much.
You're
Hey,
welcome.
I'm not seeing myself. Can you guys all see me? I don't
Yes,
know if
we
I should
can see
talk
you.
unless I find out what that Godzilla opportunity is.
The Godzilla opportunity, you just gotta wait.
Oh, here, I'm
Tuesday,
going to share
2
my
weeks
screen
from now.
here.
Watch your email. Tuesday,
I will.
from now.
I'm going to. All right, I'm going to share my screen and get in here. All right, there I am. Perfect. So let's talk about some income innovations. There's some brand new opportunities for 2022. I just kind of want to bring you guys up to speed on that. And I think I found the holy grail for passive income. I'm excited to share that with you. Here, let me move my thing out of the way here. All right. So you're about to discover how you can take advantage of these opportunities that are perfectly suited for 2022, and you can be able to increase your cash flow that way, and how you can easily make up the 4 figures of passive cash flow in just 4 months and do that without going crazy. And how anyone can do this with 0 down payment, never needing a bank loan, and with 0 experience in real estate. So this is for all of you guys. And I want you guys to, this is gonna be some cool stuff. So I want you to lean in and actually participate with me, because let me tell you my backstory. Once upon a time, there was this engineer who was doing high profile jobs. That was me. You guys recognize this? Click a 1 in the chat. You guys find your chat. Click on 1 into chat if you recognize this. If you ever driven across this. Let's see if I can see my chat. There we go. Go ahead, type a 1 in the chat. There we go. We got 1 person. I'm gonna need more than that for this whole thing to work. Okay, so yeah, I was in charge of the repair of the San Francisco Oakland Bay Bridge down the foundation there. High profile job, lots of stress going on there. And I don't know if you guys recognize this. Al Capone used to live here. And this is the top of Alcatraz. I was in charge of a solar installation, putting those solar panels in. So it was a fun project out there. And some beautiful projects out in Oakland, I mean, Yosemite, a beautiful working on cages, let the bats come in and keep the people out. So I had some beautiful high profile jobs, but the majority of my time was a snooze fest. And that's probably why some of you are here. You guys are dealing with this. You don't really want to be there at your 9-to-5 job. You feel like you're called to something else. Type a 2 in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. You feel this longing to be somewhere else, even though you have a good paying job. Anyone? Okay, good. Some of you realize what I'm saying. Yeah, that's exactly it. And every year I had to come face to face with it during my employee review. My boss would say, "Hey, where do you see yourself in 5 years?" And I had to tell a lie, because I didn't have a plan. I was just hoping something in my life would change. I knew I wasn't supposed to be there, but I had to tell the lie because I didn't want to get laid off, and I had a family, and I needed a rock solid plan, and I didn't have one at the time. And a goal without a plan is just a wish. So that's where I was. I was a landlord, absolutely. I was being meticulous. The numbers were working, but the doggone maintenance was taking my profits away from me. I didn't want to be a slumlord. I wanted to keep up on the place, even though I did the work myself. The maintenance was so expensive. It just took my profit. Painting the place, those capital expenses. Are some of you landlords? Are you guys in the same boat as me? Type a 1 into the chat now. If you've been there, you have the money, but the maintenance comes and gets you. Yeah, yep. So this is the sad truth, is most landlords across the country only earn $100 per month per door. That's before taxes. Okay, that's a sad thing. That's a little bit more than $3 a day. And if you're in that boat, you're not alone. You are not alone. But today, I want to show you how to get more out of what you got. I want to show you how to take 1 property, make it cash flow like 3. If you guys are into that. If you don't have any properties, I'm going to show you how to create cash flow. Type a 3 in the chat if that's you, if you're interested in that. If you want to know how to boost up that net income, type a 3 in the chat. There we go. Where is everyone? I need folks to participate. There we go. Yes. That's what we're going to do. So years ago, how all this started, this landlord science started, was Jeffrey Taylor article he wrote. He said, set a cash flow goal for yourself. So that's what I want you guys to do right now. Actually type in the chat what you want your cash flow goal to be in the next 6 months. And this is important. Just put it out there. If we were live, I would say, go ahead and say it, but type it in the chat since we're not live. What do you want your monthly cash flow to be in 6 months? 6K, I see 10,000, 18,000, 11,000, good, 30,000, good. That's the first part of making it happen. You got to have that goal. But here's the thing, that goal, if it's outside of your comfort zone, you got to do the hard stuff to get there. That's oftentimes why we don't want to put a goal out there because we don't want to do the hard stuff. But that's really important, you know. A smart person once said that, you know, it takes 10,000 hours to become an expert at something. Have you guys heard that? 10,000 hours, become an expert. And that's cool. I can understand that. But how many of you guys would be willing to work 1 hour a day towards something to become an expert so that you can guarantee your financial freedom and economic freedom? Type a 4 in the chat if that's you. If you'd be willing, if it seems reasonable to work an hour a day to guarantee your financial freedom. Yeah, we got a bunch of 4s. Okay, perfect. Me too. But you know what? That would take you 27 years to do. They get that 10,000 an hour. So that's why I'm here. I'm here to kind of help you get a jump start because it's going to take you a long time. And I put in a lot of time already. I wrote this book back in 2015. I'm getting ready to update it. I want to give you kind of a sneak peek. It's about 40 ways to increase the net income of your rental properties because that we are desperately need help to increase our net income because that maintenance gets us. And so there's got to be some more strategies. And I collected 40 of them, but I'm going all the way to 50 pretty soon. I'm going to be publicizing that. But you guys are going to get a sneak peek of it because I love Lori. I'm going to share with you guys first what's going to come out in the book. Is that all right? You guys with me? I hope so. Type a Y into the chat if you're with me. Need some Y's. Yeah, I need some feedback right on. Okay, you're getting a sneak peek on how to make money, and I'm going to show you the Holy Grail. Okay, so the book talks about 12 different categories of using your rental property. Transportation hub, power plant, be the bank, broadcast, fees and commissions, commerce center, health and fitness, land use and farm, hospitality, ad agency, and placemaking and storage facility. You know, people loved the book when it came out, but there was this smart aleck who said, Al's stuff is cool, but it's not realistic. So when I got that little piece, you know how just a little piece of criticism outweighs all the good stuff? Have you guys had that? Type of 1 in the chat if you've had that, where just one negative person just really gets to you and overrides all the praise and all the hard work, 5 years to put this together, okay? So I said, you know, I'm going to demonstrate each one of these things. That's what I've been doing, demonstrating each one. I'm going to show you. Since we are short on time, I'm just going to do broadcast station, commerce center, and hospitality. We're just talking about those 3 in the time we have, okay? So I hope you're interested in this. You guys said you were, so let's get right into it. With the broadcast station, again, we're looking for ways to use our rental property or someone else's property to squeeze more net income out of it because it's desperately needed. Because we need more money than the maintenance costs. That's what this is all about. So this is an antenna. This is one of the categories that I just did. As a landlord scientist, I get to hear about things and then go buy them. And then I actually demonstrate it and test it out. I have to start from 0 and learn everything about it and put myself out there to see if it makes it or not. So I heard about this thing called Helium. It's a cryptocurrency. I'm going to talk to you about it. And that you can put an antenna on your building and use that as a bridge. That antenna submits a signal, just like Bluetooth. It submits a signal that connects up to sensors and brings their information back and puts it on the internet. So I'll tell you more about that later. I had people describe it to me 3 or 4 times before I understood what it was. But it's basically, I have this pole and I have it 10 feet off the top of my roof of my commercial building, and it has an antenna on it. And this is how much I make per month. This is US dollars. It makes $100 of cash per month. And that is more than some people's rentals. The net income, this is net income. Okay, this is after that cryptocurrency called Hint has been translated into US dollars. And that's per month. Now this is true passive income. True passive income there. All right. Now I couldn't believe it, but I started from 0 and published every step of the way. I'll tell you a little bit more about this. Okay, so what is the Helium network? It's a peer-to-peer wireless network. Let me look at chat here. Do any of you guys already know this? Type a 2 into chat if you've never heard of this before. I want to see where we're starting with, who we're working with. Type a 2 in the chat if you've never heard of this and you think it's cool. All right, good, good. So I'll spend a little bit of time, if you guys allow me to. If you allow me to, I'll go want to explain it to you. Okay, so it's a peer-to-peer network. You put this little device, you plug it in at your house, okay? It looks like a router. And what it does, it puts out this long Wi-Fi signal that goes up to 30 miles. That means, and it goes further. Here in Sacramento, California, I can connect to people that are in Concord, okay? It's a long, low frequency signal. And this is used by people who have pets. They have those smart dog collars, and you see those bikes like Lime and those electric bikes, the rental companies. That's how they track where they are, and water quality sensors all the time. Also fences. Is this gate open or closed? Those sensors are real. They put out information like once every 30 seconds, not like high frequency sensors that put out 100 times per minute or 100 times per second. Those, I'm talking about something that just puts it out every 30 seconds or so. Water pollution devices, and the whole Internet of Things runs on this network. So it's really cool. And if you think the Internet of Things is going to grow next year, then this coin that they pay you for setting up this antenna, if you think that the Internet of Things is going to grow, then there's going to be more value to this whole network, and that this cryptocurrency that you get, it stands a good chance of going up. Okay, so you can host a hotspot, just like you can host an Airbnb host, whatever. You find a location, you do some research on it, and I'll help you do that. I'm going to talk to you guys about that. And if there's not a bunch of hotspots there already, you're really rewarded. If there are a bunch of hotspots there, they discourage you from setting up there because they're trying to cover the entire Earth, and that's how they're gamifying the spread. Okay. Do you guys remember back in the 90s, the Can You Hear Me Now commercials? As MCI was spreading out, type of 2, 3 in the chat if you remember Can You Hear Me Now? You remember they're putting up antennas all over the place, and those commercials went away because they got coverage. So I wanted to make sure I didn't miss out on the next spread of the network. So this is it. So this is Helium, or this HNT. It goes up and down in value. Okay, that's fine. I'm just trying to collect those coins, and you can find out if your location, that's what's the most important thing. If your location is good, we're talking about real estate. If that location, whether you own it or not, whether you own it or you make a deal with someone who has that real estate that allow you to put that antenna up there, you can go to Explorer at explorer.helium.com. I'll show you real quickly how this works. You go there and then you type in your address right here, up here. Type in your address, and then you'll put these hex all over the address, and you can see these 3s means 3 antennas are there. This 5 means 5 antennas are there. Oh, look at this. There's no antennas there, or 1 antenna. There's actually 1 antenna because it's lit up. That person doesn't have to divide all the rewards. These guys have to divide the rewards 5 ways. These guys are 3 ways, okay? And let me show you a little bit more about this. You can see this map of how it shoots out. That signal goes so far and talks to other antennas, and also gathers the information from those sensors, brings it back, and puts it on the internet. And then that's how you read what you read on your apps. So if you think the number of smartphone apps are going to increase, and if you think the Internet of Things are going to increase, then it's a good idea to start mining, or actually kind of like mining some cryptocurrency. Now, how do you read this thing, this chart over here on my left? I blew this up so you can see. So this is like 30 days. This is a 30-day report, okay? And you can see for this person, this is not me, in 30 days has made $597. $597 for putting up an antenna, folks. Okay, they have it 10 meters up off the ground. So that's about 30 feet or so, okay? And then it talks about the antenna and things like that. Now, where can you buy them? You go to helium.com, you can buy it right there. But there's a long back order. You may have to wait 4 to 6 months before it actually shows up. Or you can buy it on eBay. People are selling a resale. It's a little more risky to buy it on eBay, but you can if you know what you're doing. But just imagine this. If you had a portfolio of these antennas that all you have to do is plug it in, true passive income. Do you guys like that? Type of 5 in the chat if you like if you like that idea. Can you imagine that? Having now these things cost $500. They only cost $500, and you can make that each month. Okay. And then you could put that on your house. You could put it on each one of your rental properties. You could talk to Lori and put it on her properties. You could strike a deal. Okay. True passive income. All right. You guys are with me. I'm a passive income junkie, folks. So you're gonna have to excuse me. All right. I hope there's some other junkies out there know what I'm saying. All right. Number 2, let's talk about the second thing, Commerce Center. And there's nothing more that you need than laundry machines. All right. Everyone needs them. It's a very deciding device that you have. If you're going to go and stay for a place for a month, and you have a choice of a place that has a laundry machine or a place that doesn't, I never met anyone, especially a woman, who would choose a place that didn't have a laundry machine. Even if the place was not as nice, they would still go with the not as nice place because it had a laundry machine. So it's that important. If you guys agree with me, type in a 2 in chat. Let me know if you agree with me. It's the single most important thing when you're traveling for a long-term stay. Type a 2 if you agree with me. All right. I only want to see people that agree with me. Good, good. So it's really, really important to have it. It gives you the advantage over everybody who doesn't have one, especially in the world where workforce rentals, what I'm about to talk to you guys about. So there are these new laundry machines that work off of just these regular outlets, these regular 120 volt outlets. And that was new to me. And I'm like, what the heck? You mean I don't have to get 240 anymore? You mean I don't have to get an electrician to come in and do this anymore? Right. Does that mean that if you have a little old rental place, a little old rental apartment, that you could just set up a laundry machine now and properly plumb it? That's really important. Do proper plumbing on it and get it and just plug it in the wall. That's what it means. That's what it means. That means you can actually, it's like a turbocharger. It really is a turbocharger. This top one costs about 300. This bottom one costs about 300. That's what's amazing. And look at this. This is how I use it. Okay. I have a traditional rental I'm going to show you in a second. It's just a regular old apartment. All right. In Sacramento, traditionally, right now, I could rent it out unfurnished for $1,100. All right. Not bad. Most landlords are happy about that. They're giggling about that. Okay. Now, if I convert it to a corporate rental, which means that it has its own washer and dryer inside. All right. If you have a rental and you furnish it and it doesn't have its own washer and dryer, that's a service apartment at best. Okay. It's a different classification. But look at this. Because I have it, a corporate rental, I'm charging $1,000 more per month. Some basic furnishings, a washer and dryer, simple, I got these from these pictures from Ross or something. That's 100% increase, folks. You guys like that? I hope you like that. Type a 3 in the chat if you like that. 100% increase, $1,000 more per month for just a $700 worth of washer and dryers. Good? Yeah, it really is. It's a really big deal. And that you can outmaneuver, outcompete other people who don't have this device. And you can take something that is a regular place and make it into the homecoming queen. All right. Now, over here, if you look real close, if you can see that, that's an air admittance device. You got to have one of those. If you've ever heard a story about a washer and dryer leaking and getting out and destroying something, I bet the plumbing wasn't correct. I bet they didn't have an air admittance device. All right. And one more thing, if you guys will allow me to say something here, this is really important. This dryer, it's like a big hair dryer. Okay. Now I don't use a hair dryer, but some of you who do, tell me, do you have to vent a hair dryer outside? Does anyone use their hair dryer and vent it outside? If you don't, type it in. If you just use your hair dryer and you don't have to vent it, you don't have to go outside to use it. Okay, yeah. Now guess what I'm saying? I'm saying with this device, I have it just discharge it into a bucket of water, and I don't drill a hole through the wall or anything. It's a big hair dryer. I do not have to vent it outside. You guys good with that? Type of Y if you understand what I'm saying. You just plug this thing in and play. Just discharge it, have the dryer go into a bucket of water, and you're good. No fumes, no nothing. You guys are instant up and going. At least landlords, if you're with me, you should be able to raise your rents $50 to $60 per month if you're just a traditional landlord, okay? 50 to 60 bucks per month per unit. Now, if you're a multifamily landlord, do you understand what that means? If you're using a cap rate, I know Lori does. If you get using a cap rate and you put one of these in and you can raise your rents $50 or $75 or whatever, multifamily landlords, it's a geometric increase in the value of your property. That's why I'm excited about it. I hope I'm not the only one. I love this stuff because it keeps my place fully booked. And I know when it comes to a decision point, it's going to give you the edge as well. All right. I got to calm down a little. I get when washer and dryers get me excited. Anyone else? Am I the only one? Are we filled with passive cash flow junkies here? Because I'm trying to show you some innovations and that you can just plug in the wall and start making money. All right, good. I won't slow down then. I won't slow down. I'm gonna keep going. I'm keep moving forward in profitability for you. Let's talk about monthly workforce rentals. All right, monthly workforce rentals. Why would I talk about that? Because did you know that the business travelers are putting $32 billion into the US market every year? And guess what? That's going up and up and up. And there's 55 million of them are essential workers. And probably no one knew what essential workers were before 2020, but it's a common word now because they kept working. Even though travel shut down, Airbnb almost went out of business, these people that are doing these month-long furnished rentals stayed in business. You know, have you heard of Extended Stay America? You have them in San Jose. I know you guys do. Are you guys driving past? Type a 1 in the chat if you're driving past an Extended Stay America every day. If you see it on the side of the road every day. Only one person? Oh, come on. I know you guys are, I know there's Extended Stay Americas around San Jose. I stayed in them right there, okay? Yeah, they're there. And that's showing you that there's this big demand for people who are staying for a prolonged period of time. They're just watered down apartments, all right, without washer and dryers. And if you see them, that means you can beat them. That's exactly what I mean, because you can put your washer and dryer and it's a slam dunk, all right? So we know people are coming to your market for an extended period of time. There's about 100 rooms, 150 rooms in each one of them. Same with Residence Inn and a number of different ones. Now, essential workers, there's about 30% of them are healthcare workers. And there's no end in sight. As you know, the travel nurse industry keeps getting bigger. They're hiring less and less permanent nurses, and there's moving specialists around. It's a permanent trend. I don't see an end in sight for that. If you guys are nurses, you already know what I'm saying. But the other 70% of them are remote workers. I want to talk to you guys about that because not many people even know what a remote worker is or know anything besides travel nurse. People come to me, they talk about travel nurse. Okay, let me help you see what the other part of this here. we have this infrastructure bill. You may have heard of it that just passed. It's putting a lot of money into the economy. It's putting a lot of demand onto this traveling healthcare person. It's putting a lot of money onto the construction workers and remote workers and essential workers. So it's really making the industry for month-to-month workforce rentals blow up, and there's not enough supply right now for housing. There's not enough supply for housing. Do you guys want a piece of this market? Do you guys want a piece of this $1 trillion bill that was passed? Type of a one. If you want your share, type of one and check. If you want your fair share of this money that's being released on your house. So you get it. How do you get that in your real estate business? You provide housing for essential workers and remote workers. That's how you do it. Okay. And how do you know that you're gonna keep your place filled? Even if you have a regular place, you put a washer and dryer in it. All right. And then if you want to make an extra $100 to $500 a month, you throw an antenna on it. All right. That's how we're stacking all this together. All right. I hope you junkies are getting your fix, because I sure am just talking about it. This stuff was working. Okay, but before I dive into the details about workforce rentals, let me show you this. This is my regular old apartment complex in Sacramento, California. You know, I bought it some years ago for $340,000, but that was a lot of money to me. I had to come up with $100,000. I did not have it. I had to save up for 5 years to come up with it. All right. But fortunately, I figured out how to trick it out, how to twist things around, because being a regular landlord was not cutting it. It was not cutting it. So I figured it out. I had to come up with $8,283 per month after expenses, and I'm still able to pull another $8,000 from it, thanks to workforce rentals. And that is how I left my engineering job. That's how I did it. And then with that know-how of kind of how to reposition a place from the rental market to the hospitality market, I went and talked to another landlord. I said, I want to set this up for workforce rental, and talked to him about all the benefits of doing that. And this place, only one unit here, brings in $832 per month, month after month. How do I keep it filled? I position it for workforce rental so that they can make money off of it. Now this one, I'm not able to put a washer and dryer in it yet, because I have to tweak his setup around, but it is on the property. So that's still I still make it good. This one here is a regular mom and pop house. It's 2-bed, 2-bath, small little thing. Talk to the landlords. I'm able to make an extra $887 per month off of this. So it ranges. You can have apartments, houses, fenced-in yards. They're really cool. As you guys know, PG&E has some issues, right? They have some maintenance issues, right? And they hire people from all over the country to come maintain those power lines. And those linemen were traveling with their families and their dogs. If you had a fenced-in, or if you still have a fenced-in yard, you're sitting on a gold mine. You can keep that place filled. All right. All right. So I have them clustered in Sacramento, California. I'm not all over the place. I'm pretty this is all I need. And it's a mixture of joint ventures and things. So that's what I'm holding as Easy Corporate Housing. I'm responsible for marketing for that. And I train people how to do this as well. And I've been training people since 2014. So I've seen it, and I can help you guys too if you're interested. I'll talk to you about that later. But this is my current holdings. You know, I wasn't always happy about showing this, but I said, I got to show people so you guys can really see. So $8,283 per month for my rentals that I own, and then $7,763 per month on the things that I don't own. I just operate, I lease them. Okay. What do you guys think? Is that all right? Now this is Sacramento, so the dollars go a little bit further than San Jose, but type a 4 into the chat if that's all right to have that type of setup. It's a simple life. Okay, good. I see some fours. And you know something? I'm not the only one who operates that way. This is the Marriott. You guys heard of Marriott? Very prestigious. The JW Marriott. They're everywhere, all over San Jose. And we drive past them. I want to stay at a Marriott. They got a great brand. But guess what? They don't own those. They own, in the United States, they own the ones in Las Vegas, 5 of them. And then they master lease 21 of them. What? They own and they operate. They own some and they lease more. That's how they do it. And the rest are franchises and managements that they pass on the maintenance to the owners, okay? Did you guys know that? Type a 1 in the chat if you already knew that the Marriott is mostly a big rental arbitrage management company. All right. All right. I want to bring that to you because I was stuck as a landlord who thought I had to own everything. I had to own assets. I had to own assets. And then I realized that I was supposed to be controlling assets. And I'm like, oh, I can do that. That's just an option with a right to purchase. That's just a lease agreement instead of a mortgage agreement. I can do that. And because I made that shift, and I hope you guys do too, I can create all the cash flow I want. I just go talk to someone who's an owner and throw an antenna up, put a washer and dryer in, and set it up for workforce rentals. It doesn't have to be a fancy place. Now you guys got the secret sauce. Now you guys see where I'm going with all this. Type a 6 if you see where I'm going with it. You can see you can stack these cash flows together to create the lifestyle that you want. All right. Now you're never broke because you understand that you can control assets. You're never homeless now. You just talk to someone with an underperforming asset and you do one of these things that I'm sharing with you. All right. That is it. That is how now you can relax now you can be at ease about money because you get this. Now you can fund that college account. My daughter is first year at San Jose State. How do I fund it? I fund it by controlling properties, other people's properties, all right? Because the dorms are expensive there. I put a lot of money into the San Jose economy. I hope you guys appreciate that. But that's it. That's it. Okay, let's get closer into it. I started coaching people, and this is Derek. He is a science teacher. He happens to be in Sacramento as well, but he wanted to do this. He uses that $522 a month to pay off his loans, his credit card. He wanted to do that, and he wanted to throw things together for his family for vacation. So that is really cool. The other part about Derek, he's a friend of mine, is that he partners with my daughter's IRA, my daughter's Roth IRA. They do this as a joint venture, and they have several of these apartments now. Is that good? Are any of you guys interested in retiring your children without them knowing? Type of 1 in the chat. Retiring your children without them knowing by controlling other people's properties and having someone else do the work for you. True passive income. Tax-free as a chaser. Yeah, straight no chaser today. Hope you guys are okay with that. Straight no chaser. Now this is Rochelle. I'm going to talk to her in a bit and show you what she did. Now she's in Reno. Let's talk about what happened. She's making $900 a month off of something she doesn't own. All right. But it's really what I'm sharing with you is more than this company here. This is an amazing company. They revolutionized the short-term rental industry. But what I'm talking about is this. This is how I keep the place filled. It's a big funnel. It's more fully independent. You don't want to be over-reliant on Airbnb for a number of reasons. And people ask me all the time, the first question they ask me, especially Airbnb hosts, is how do you market, Al? How can you do this how do you have 28 units in your corporate housing portfolio, and how do you keep them filled? Is this, 95% of the traffic on the internet goes through this company, Google. If we were, see, I read Marriott's annual report so that you don't have to. It's dry reading. But when they talk about their threats, they list this. They said that on top of their threats list is Google changing the algorithm. Airbnb is not even on the page, does not even show up in their annual review. You guys can check me on that. They're not worried about that. They're worried about Google because that's the driver. And if you don't have a Google strategy in 2022 and you're a business person, I don't know what I'm gonna get off of that. I don't want you guys to cancel me. I want to be invited back. And Lori's my friend. I don't want to get canceled. I'm gonna leave that alone. But anyway, you find people on Google. We show up twice on the first page when you're hunting in Sacramento. You go through your website and then they contact you, either you or your team, and there's a consultation there. They have a pet. Hey, these are the ones we have pets. What time are you starting? These ones will have available so that you minimize your bookings, you minimize your vacancies. That's really important. And then here's the closer. We give them a one-page mobile-friendly website about that particular house or apartment or corporate workforce rental or corporate rental that we want them to focus on, that's good for us and good for them. And then that becomes their world right there. Okay. So all this before that was just marketing, and this part, this website, one-page website, is the closer for the sale. And no one else is doing it. And we're answering all their questions in a beautiful format. So they give us the money. That's how it works. All right. That one-page website, it takes some effort to get it together, but once you have it, you use it everywhere. Okay. And I'll talk to you guys about that later. Now, why do this? Why not just go through Airbnb? It's so easy. It's because you can't sell your Airbnb business. All right. I don't care if it's in an LLC or not. I've asked them point blank, and they say, Airbnb, this is what they say. They say, first of all, those reviews are property of Airbnb. They're not yours. And then they'll say, hey, we did a background check on that particular person who signed up. That's part of our terms of service, section 4. If you switch that, that's kind of fraudulent. You can't switch that. I don't care if it's inside of an Airbnb LLC or not. You have to shut down and reopen. You cannot sell your Airbnb business. But you can sell, with the way I'm going, you can sell your website, your social media, and other things if you build it out. That's exactly what you want to do. You want to go this way because you can sell it for 3 times your annual income revenue. It's hundreds of $1,000s difference if you're following what I'm saying. I'm trying to catch you early to make sure you're not overly reliant on Airbnb. That's why it's worth the effort. So I was thinking about what my ideal business was. I like passive income. As you guys know, I'm a junkie. I want something scalable. I want something that works less than 2 hours a week. And I don't want employees because I'm way too flirtatious. I would get in trouble that way. And I wanted to be able to sell the business, because that's the thing. You want to have an asset, which is this business you're creating, or your antennas that you're creating, or you can even setting washing machines and rent those out. It's a business that you can sell 3 to 5 times the annual income. Okay, it's an asset. All right. So when I was experimenting with Airbnb, it wasn't passive. It was a lot of work. When I was doing 1 nights and weekend stays and 3-day stays, it was a lot of work. And I was already commuting from the Bay Area back to Sacramento. And I sometimes I had to sneak over there to take care of an issue because my wife wanted me home. And I was thinking, any extra profit I'm making is going right straight to marriage counseling. So I didn't want to do that. Is scalable? Yes, it is, but it's definitely was more than 2 hours a week, or I have to hire an employee, and I didn't want that. And you can't not sell your Airbnb business. You can sell your furniture. A lot of people sold their furniture on the sidewalks during 2020 because they weren't doing extended stays and weren't doing workforce rentals. So that's true. You can sell your furniture. Now tell me, you guys, what do you want? If you had to choose, type a T in for time or M for money, which one's the most important to you? Is the non-refundable time or refundable, replaceable money? If you had to choose. All right, I see. Okay, we're all on T's. I see. Good. Well, that's good. We're going to talk about that, how to maximize that and do it in a way so that you can have both. But you got to, I think you need to, it's my opinion, as Donna Bauer would say, but I'm right about it. I think you need to focus on T first, and then that leads to the money. So I started experimenting, and that's how I came up with this workforce rental thing. And that's what's changed my life. That's what allows me to, for me, I wanted to be home with the kids. I want to be a full-time dad, part-time investor. So that's what I do. I practice spelling words on the way to school. I'm around now, I'm not always in commute. I was right there after my daughter's first kiss. I was right there, you know, able to talk to her about it. And she just, the one in San Jose, just dumped the guy because he wasn't enough like her dad. That's my big brag. You guys like that? Are there any dads out there that get that? Type of Y into the chat if you get that. She dumped him because he wasn't enough like her dad, that who has time to be with her, you know? Now you might be different. You might want the, you know, dress to the hilt, which is cool. You might like the finer things in life. Well, that's why I'm here for you. That's why I'm sharing all these things, because it's definitely can get you there. What I'm about to share with you, these workforce rentals, doing things that are true passive income, washing and dryers to make sure everything falls your direction is going to get you there. So I need you guys to allow me to coach you. Type a C if you allow me to coach you, because I happen to have my 10,000 hours in. I think I can save you 27 years about when it comes to workforce rentals. Good. You guys give me permission. That's it. Do I have to worry about how I say things, or can I just give it to you? All right, good, good, good. I'm going to do that then. I'm going to loosen up. Okay, here's the background, is that during 2020, everything grind to the halt, and there was headline after headline after headline saying longer term stays is the only bright spot. Longer term stays, people are staying longer. They don't want to be in the hotels. They want to isolate in individual spots. Now, Airbnb is public now. They interview the CEO every quarter. And for the last 5, maybe 6 quarters, he has to say, it's not a question anymore. He says, longer term trips are the fastest growing, most stable, only bright spot. He has to say it. So there's no more question. I don't have to argue with anyone anymore. Longer term stays is the fastest growing and turns out to be the most profitable segment of the hospitality industry, because you need less employees to run it. Okay. So what are workforce rentals? Who are using these places? These guys here, these are the ones I recommend you focus on. The nurses and the engineers, the linemen, telecom workers, doctors, surgeons are needed. You know, they're always traveling and helping out. There's the industrial contractors, and there's architects, there's construction crews, and there's people relocating, all right, to your area. And there's relocation specialists that are working. All those are essentials. That's going to happen. Those things keep going. Even if extraterrestrials landed, that would still go up. Because even when travel's restricted, there's still a demand for project work, emergency healthcare services. It has to keep going. Government contracts keep going. Military can't stop. It keeps going. Okay. So aiming for them is puts you in a lot of safety. If you like security, then you're going to like workforce rentals, who just got a big check to fund them for the next 5 years or so. Okay, so here's the problem though. It's that the longer this essential and remote workers, I'll talk to you about that in a second. Essential and remote workers are away from home, the more they need a place that feels like home. And that word feels, I need you to repeat that and underline that 3 or 4 times. It's got to feel like, it's got to feel like, it's got to feel. Doesn't mean you need to go to buy the best of the best, highest end products. You're creating a feeling, and you want to do that on a budget. All right. Now this is a good chunk of information. This is a good profit thing I'm sharing with you right now, is that you need to not overdo and over furnish. You create a feeling, all right? That's what people want, so that they don't have to spend all their housing allowance. They can actually take some money home. If you can set up that way, create a savings for them, you're home free. You're home free. You can make as much money as you want to make. All right, but here's that's the problem, is that there's not enough good places. And I know because I was an essential worker. I started off in 1995. I was in Port Arthur, Texas. It was a refinery town. There was a spill. I was working for Chevron, and I was put up in this Holiday Inn Express. And I was young. I'm married at the time, and I was like, "This is cool. I got money for spend. I got this place. This is great." And then I found that I was spending all my food money because I couldn't cook for myself, and I didn't like someone coming and moving all my stuff all the time while I was gone. I was feeling violated. And then I was going to these different restaurants and getting this weird vibe from people. And so I didn't feel comfortable out there. And every place smelled like sulfur. I was like, I can't stand this anymore. I'm miserable. I'm not enjoying this day. And someone reached out to my HR department and said, hey, we happen to have an apartment up the street. We got some furniture in it. If your employee wants to stay there, they can. And it was about 80% of what I was paying at the Holiday Inn Express, and I could cook for myself. Oh man, that is what I need. I rushed over there. And then from there, I'm able to gather myself and find a way to have a good time in Port Arthur, Texas. But I needed a place to retreat. I needed a spot. And that is where so many essential workers are. They're tied up in these extended stay hotels. Here's the top 10 national brands. You guys recognize any? Type in the chat how many you recognize. If you recognize 2 or 3 of them, if you see all those, type it in the chat. Show me how many you see around you, drive past every day. Anthony's got 4. Is Anthony the only one? Lori's got 3. Dwayne, he's got 2. Yep. Seba, is Stan? I can't pronounce that. Isabella? Yes, got 5. Yeah, they're all around you. That's where these essential workers are hiding out. All right, but they're not happy there. I don't know anyone that can make one of these hotel rooms feel like home. I've never met anyone. I ask this all the time from stage. Raise your hand if you can make a hotel room feel like home, and no hands go up. It just can't do it, but you can make an apartment feel like home. That's why you can make a small home, a simple thing. That's your advantage. All right, you guys, is this coming into focus? Type a 2 in the chat if this is coming into focus. I want to make sure I'm getting to you, that you can do something, whether you own it or not. All you have to do is control it, and make essential workers and remote workers flood to you. Then you can put a washer and dryer in it if you talk to someone, or you do it yourself if it's your place, and you can throw a hotspot on it, and a whole bunch of other things that I can't talk to you guys about today. But that's it. That is it. All right. But here's the thing. In the Bay Area, you guys got some different dynamics. I want to talk to you about that. Okay, because the cost, typically when you're doing an arbitrage, when you grab something that's in the rental market that might be priced one way and you drag it to the hospitality industry, all right? This is what you're doing when you're playing Monopoly. All right, they say you get 4 houses, right? And then you get a hotel, yeah? You get 4 houses, get a motel, you get enough hotels, you win the game. That's the way it's played. Because the profit margin in the hospitality industry is so much higher than the rental market. Oops. But in the Bay Area, those prices are almost the same. So there's a problem there, right? Did I lose you guys? Type in a I for I got it if you see it, what I'm talking about. The prices in the Bay Area are takeaway, they're nearly balanced with the hospitality industry. All right, good. So what are we gonna do? It's not as simple as just jumping out there and doing that. And I'm gonna help you guys with that. I'm putting together a report just for SJREI. I'm gonna look around the BART, and I'm gonna look and keep going outward till we find opportunities for you. I'm gonna do the heavy lifting for you. And I'll talk to you about how you get that. All right, because that's what I find when I talk to people who I coach in the Bay. They're like, I'm out of opportunities. I know essential workers are coming. We know that, but I can't control a property and make a profit. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I'll tell you about that later. Because here's the solution. Yes, is that if you can provide housing, and you can, for essential remote workers so that they feel at home, then without spending their entire housing allowance, then you can create all the cash flow you need to live your lifestyle, to buy your boat, to put into your retirement account. In fact, your retirement account can do all of these things that I'm sharing with you. Your self-directed retirement account can do all these things I'm sharing with you, and I'll show you how to do that. All right. And you can fund and pay for your boats or whatever you want to do following what I'm sharing with you here. Okay. So I got 2 secrets as I wrap up. I don't want to go too long. Oh, I'm going too long. I'm going to try to wrap this up. There's so much to share with you guys. How to do it real quick. Okay. One is that you got to know how to secure a place, a workforce rental, and furnish money so you have no excuse. All right. So it's essentially free to you. You have to come at it like a banker. And then how do you keep it filled? That's important. You got to keep it filled so that you can use that internet service to connect your antenna to your Helium and make money that way. You got to keep it filled so that you don't have to pay the bills. All right. So you have that extra profit coming in. And let's talk about that. Secret 1, this is the first one. How do you secure a place? And I'm not going to be able to share with you by my experiment because I'm running out of time. But let me summarize it. This square is my gross income coming to my apartment for 1 unit, my 2-bed, 1 bath. And a star is that net income. And here's the baseline right here. The baseline for this experiment was $850 in net income. And then I started doing regular Airbnb, and I started making a lot of money. And this $1,850, but I had to start paying taxes and extra insurance and more linens and my cleaners, and it brought the profit down. This is 2015 numbers, but it was still really good. It was still worthwhile, but just so happens that heaven opened up and I got a 30-day booking, and then I priced it a little bit less, and then I realized that the net income was $1,410, and I was like, I didn't have to have that tension with my wife. I didn't have to go check after my cleaner. It was a whole lot less work. And then I compared the numbers, and I said they were about the same thing, the same net income, not the same gross, but I cared about the net. So that's why I started focusing on long-term stays, and I optimized it for really long stays, and I got people staying 3 to 4 months at a time. And I'm like, you know what? I can spread my expenses over 3 to 4 months now, my startup expenses. So my expenses go down, my profits went up. And that's why I am sold on extended stays for workforce rentals. And people ask me, what's the difference? I say the frequency for sure. Shorter stays are all the time, and longer ones are just, once a month at most. And shorter stays are like to pack people in, charged by the person. Workforce is the fewer people, the better. And there's a lot of competition for regular Airbnb, but very little competition. Not many people manage their calendar properly for workforce rentals and longer term stays. And short stays, people pay as tourists, they pay out of pocket, and employers pay for these longer stays. It's usually related to work. It's a different type of attitude. And there's a potential for parties. There's a small potential. Most people don't, but the ones that do make it bad for everyone else. With short stays, no potential for parties at all. Only people are traveling to get promoted with workforce rentals. So that's why I call it the Goldilocks. It's not too fast, not too slow. I think it's just right in my experiments. All right. Now here, how do you do this without using any of your own money? Okay, you do this. You talk to a landlord. You could do a lease option. You can do a joint venture. There's a number of things you can do to control a property. All right. And then here's the thing. Here's the magic thing. You create an investment for people. All right. You create an investment for other people to fund. You do what Lori does. Hey, type in here, type a chat. If you get this, type an I for investment. That's what you do. Type an I for investment if you get it right here. You create an investment to get the funds. You create an investment to get the funds. If you're doing it inside your IRA, you create an investment to get the funds. You don't use your own money. You got to know what you're doing though. It really helps to have a coach. But if you do it this way, you can keep going. All right. And everyone can do this. Now you can retire if you create an investment to get the funds. And then you furnish the place correctly. Don't overdo it because it might take you 2 years to break even if you overdo it. You furnish it to create the feeling of home. All right. I gotta say that 5 times. Create the feeling at home. That's where the profit is. You got to break even quickly. And then you market it online, offline, and with social media. Then you're going to attract people who have that housing allowance, and they're going to give you the money, and you can use some of their money to pay your investor. Right? I have all that kind of templated out, and then the money left over is yours for do whatever you want to do. If you want to buy into designer clothes, you go do that. If you want to use it on a car, go use that. If you want it on a vacation to have experiences, you got money to do it. If you need extra, if you want to give it to your church, you got it. And this can repeat. There's no restrictions now. You're not short on money anymore. You're never homeless anymore. You can put your kid through college now. You can accomplish whatever you are meant to do in this world now. All right. That's the freed me up. That's why I'm a landlord scientist, because this is what I was meant to do. I wasn't meant to be a regular engineer. And once I realized that I can just control properties and do this and make money, now, regardless of what the economy is, regardless who's in office, that's how it works. So I got all the scripts, the worksheets, the contracts, checklists, all that's in my coach, my system I'm going to talk to you about. And that's the easy part. The marketing is the hard part. And we'll talk about that. But I'm running out of time. You guys can let me go just a few minutes over. I just need a few minutes. I'm going to try this. Tim was a skeptic. He started making $1,000 a month in Appleton. And you can do the same thing. You got to position yourself right. Okay. I'm going to blast through this, but you guys can be able to listen to the recording, okay? So how do you keep the place filled year round? Is this. I was showing you this for marketing, online, offline, and social media, but it's really a 3-legged stool. You want to work on all of them. Online, you know that, it's Airbnb, it is Furnish finders, and a lot of the things you already know. That's one where you pay a commission. But the real activity is offline, and you got to use your mobile-friendly website. You talk to realtors, LinkedIn for those relocation specialists. It's a different marketing tactic. You know, the 3-dimensional world is still out there. It's the most profitable one to be in. So you got to do that, but you need that tool, that mobile-friendly website. And social media and social proof is so important, but you want to link it to your private website. You don't want to send people that you see you on social to Airbnb. That's not the point. Okay. So if there's a smart way to do social media, I'll talk to you guys about that later. But this is the thing, because who needs these workforce rentals? Let me pull it all out here. Because there's military, there's corporate people like engineers, there's political campaigns that are traveling, there's medical professionals, and also medical students, there's trainers, those guys are all subbed out. They need workforce rentals. There's international travelers, construction workers, people with NASCAR and training people for pit crews. You know, I just went over those people who are traveling to make money, but there's all these other ones for people who have to travel to take care of the loved ones or because they got displaced. And then there's a whole other category of people who want to travel, right? So I got a lot to share with you. That's all in my coaching program. Okay, but I just want you to imagine if you knew how to market to these different categories, if you knew how you're proficient at it, so that if military slowed down, you would know what to do. You would pivot over to something else and stay filled. That's how you do it. Okay. There's this great saying that if you give someone a fish, you feed them for a day. If you teach someone to fish, you feed them for a lifetime. And that is what I'm all about. I want to teach you guys how to fish, how to use these tactics. All right. And that's the thing. That's the insight. You got to pay attention to what people want and you give it to them, and you become the only option, and you help other people win, and you win yourself, all right? So that's the two secrets to it, plus all the other things. There's a lot you can do with it. I can't really go over this right now, but this was the business plan for easy corporate housing. And we far exceeded this. If you can, a lot of people in the Bay Area can't live off of $10,000 a month, but if you could create a replacement your salary or a retirement salary in just 23 months, okay? 23 months, you don't have to work through 30 years anymore. So there's a fast track. I love this saying. It says, if eagles don't see other eagles fly, then their chances of reaching their full potential are greatly diminished. So I'm glad you guys are hanging out with SJREI and getting to know each other. It's important to be together and learn from each other, all right? Now there's 5 roadblocks why people don't do anything. I showed you guys how to make money, some true passive income ways, how to make money with no money at all inside your retirement, outside your retirement. I think you got a grip on that now, but some people are going to walk away from this share of mine and not do anything because they hit these roadblocks. They don't understand how to set up a housing company. They don't know how to get bookings independent of Airbnb, so they don't even think about it. And there's self-limiting beliefs and there's head trash, you know, everyone has it. I do myself. That's why I have a coach to keep me out, keep this from myself, keep me from myself. And then gathering enough funds to start up, even to get me to coach them. They can't do that. That's a big roadblock for them. And here's another one is they don't have a personal mentor. Now, how many of you, I need your feedback here. How many of you know, type of 1 in the chat, that you could learn everything about climbing Mount Everest on YouTube? Type of 1 in the chat for me. There's all kinds of videos that you can learn everything you need to know about climbing Mount Everest. Type of 1 in to chat. All right, yep. Now, how many of you would actually climb Mount Everest from things you learned on YouTube? Type of 2. Type of 2 or an N for no way. Would anyone climb Mount Everest because of, yeah, no way. So a personal mentor is everything. It actually allows you to take action. That's how I was able to do that antenna, as I had a mentor, you know. I needed a plumber to double check me on the washer and dryer. You get mentors. That's how you do it. That's how you access cash flow. Now, okay, real quick, you can try all this on your own. I think I gave you ideas. You can spend the next couple of months watching, Googling and maybe get it, or you can just skip the trial and error and just copy what works. Just use my 6-step system that I have that has been around helping people for a long time. Here's what you get. I just have a special offer in here for you guys as well. Is overview how to set up a corporate rental company and for workforce rentals and discover your market's potential. Now, this is a special report I'm putting together because a lot of people get frustrated. I'm going to do this for you. I'm going to show you the nearest spots that you can set up and start making a profit, because it doesn't always work in the Bay Area. It doesn't always work in San Jose. Okay. That's a 10 hours worth of work right there I'm working on. And how to furnish a rental correctly so that you don't overdo it and you can break even quickly. And that's checklist. You can order everything off of Amazon, or you can get that off of Facebook Marketplace. But the goal is to keep your price down so that you break even in 6 months. I hope I'm not talking too fast. Now, how to market. This is the main thing. how to do this, get over that roadblock with how to not be over reliant on Airbnb. That sets you free. How to do the social and find media online, offline. I'll give you all that. All right. It's all right there in a checklist. Now, if you're a current Airbnb host and you want to transition to longer term stays, I show you how to work with medical professionals, how to, what they need, the amenities they need, how to quickly find them, how to price yourself to see if it's a go, no go with them. All right. Because they may not be where you want to aim. You may need to aim for other essential workers who have higher per diems, higher housing allowances. I'll work with you on that. And once you have it all together, when you understand all these things, then you can learn how to position a property, you can furnish it, and you can market it, all that. I have the scripts to help you do that. All right. Worksheets to make sure that you don't make a mistake and get in a spot where you have to quit. And it's really systematic. You guys can see that I'm that type of person. So I want you to duplicate and scale and start printing money. That's what you do. All right, so that all that has a value of $997. That's just the information. And you know information is never enough. You need someone to hold your hand and ask questions to and problem solve with. That's why with the first bonus is a mastermind group that we have for ourselves for workforce rentals and extended stays, so that you don't make the same mistakes. You don't make preventable mistakes. And you can get set up, avoid all the heartache that we've gone through. So you can be able to learn from other workforce rental operators and get over that self-limiting belief and challenge your head trash, because we all inherit the financial blueprints of our parents. We got to work on that so that we can free ourselves up. And it's just your support group, so that, so, you know, if you're inside your comfort zone right now, you are under your potential. You are under your potential. So you need support to get yourself out of that. And I give you daily updates so I can keep you ahead of the crowd. You can see I'm always doing research. I want to show you what's new, what's coming up. So that is a, I'll move this out of the way. That's a $2,997 value. And the second bonus is email support to me and my team. I take it direct, I get right back to you. Oftentimes people are asking the wrong questions. So I have to point them back in the direction and talk them off the fence. And the third bonus is a resource pack. It has a lot of legal stuff in it. It has that blueprint for how do you work with private lenders? How do you create that investment? I talk about the fund your operation, addendums for leases, and a whole bunch of legal stuff, pitch decks, worksheets, all that stuff we've been using since 2014 to get you there. So that's a $3,500 value there. Now I want you to picture this. I want you to picture getting started with me and growing up to 5. That's what happens all the time. People end up with 5, and they're like, you know, I have like the second job. I created a job for myself. So at that point, that's why I created a virtual assistant company. I wrote a book. We start formalizing the process. Everyone operates this way. And then I hire the best virtual assistants, and we all share in the price. So it's just a fraction of what you would have to pay. So they take the calls during your work hours. You don't have to take calls. They do all the filing. We're going to start getting you ready for taxes. We're doing all of that stuff so that you have both time and money. We're trying to make sure you have time first. We're not doing a bunch of busy stuff that you don't like, and then you have money as well. And we can do it all because the rhythm of extended stays, these workforce rentals, is such that we can manage it for you. All right. So here's the special thing I'm doing just for you guys. And some of this is real time sensitive. Let me share this with you. Fourth bonus is I'm going to do your first mobile friendly website. Now, how much does a website cost you to build that? How much typically, right? It's a lot of money. I'm going to do that for you. So make sure that you book up fast. Okay. And this is how you need to be able to pass this on to people so they can share it for you. And you guys can talk about that instead of talking about your Airbnb listing. That's important. And then I'm going all out. I'm setting up 2 office hours a week for you. Just SJREI, just your group. And we're going to do it for 4 weeks. All right. I'm going to be your personal mentor on the phone with you on a Zoom call for 2 times a week for 4 weeks. I'm going to be able to answer all your questions and get you going. This is where your 30-day challenge is. We're going to do a 30-day challenge to make sure that you get to where you're trying to do. If you want a financial transformation, this is it. I'm going to hold you to it. All right. And then I'm going to do introductory calls. If you invest in this tomorrow and Thursday, we're going to talk on the phone. All right. I want to spend time with you. I know what you're going up against. And I'm going to be helping you, giving you advice on washer and dryers and walking you through the Helium thing, the setup. I've done it twice now. It was really confusing, and now I can walk you through it. So all those things. Now tell me, what would it be worth to you to have an expert? I got my 10,000 hours in. Hold your hand through all this and hold your feet to the fire so that you get results. What would that be worth to you? All right. I'm not going to ask you to type that in chat, but I put it at $7,500 to make sure you get results and to explain all this to you and go over all your issues and find solutions with it personally, holding your hand. Right. So all together, we got the 6-step system, all the information, the mastermind group, the email support to me, resources pack that will get you through everything you need. This works since 2014. And then the special bonus. Now we start those one-on-one, those group sessions, they start on the week of the 21st of March. And then we're going to go for 4 weeks. All right. 4 weeks, 2 times a week, so that you can make sure that holds you accountable to it. That's your 30-day challenge. So the whole package is valued at $17,997, $91. But of course, I'm not going to charge you that. I give you 3 days to look it over, and I give you this 110% money back guarantee because I know it's going to work. The details are in the course there, but you can look it all over for 3 days. All right. And talk to me, because you need to look at, it's almost impossible to understand everything from where you are. You kind of need to look through it. Look at the videos and see what it's all about and talk to me. All right. So I'll give you 3 days to do that. So even though the value is absolutely $17,991, I'm not going to charge you that, bringing it down to just a fraction of what you should be making each month. All right. $1,997. That's just a real simple getting 5 units up and going. Just doing a little bit of antenna work. Yeah, so that's it. Now, again, we're trying to set you up for $10,000 a month. That's what's all aimed for, but we're only gonna charge you $1,997. All right. So the information is kind of like the map, the bonuses is all the support you need. And then this 4th bonus is really the GPS, me telling you what to do right on real time. Okay. During those 2 office hours per week for 4 weeks. So there's no excuse. You can get financial transformation if you want it. All right. So there it is. You go to sjrei.org/March, and there is a QR code. And remember, we're starting up soon. So let's get started. I'm ready to help you out. I'm going to turn it back over to you, Lori. Is she there? Jeffrey, you there?
I'm over here talking away and you can't even hear me.
Okay.
All right, so if you have any questions, go ahead and enter them in the chat. And I believe we did have some questions along the way. Jeff, did you have those handy? You're on mute now.
I think there was a question about what about Southern California?
Yes. Southern California has its own dynamics, just like the Bay Area. We're looking for this imbalance between the rental market and the hospitality industry. And so we have to poke around and check for opportunities there. But it's absolutely got a lot of people in Southern California that I coach are doing just fine. The ordinances, you gotta make sure you read the ordinances correctly. But most likely, most of the time, 31 days and longer is absolutely fine.
Okay, so Al, I looked up Helium in my area. It's totally wide open. So I'm gonna get into Helium like yesterday. So anyway, okay.
That warms my heart, man. That warms my heart.
It's like a honeycomb. It's all green. So
that's right.
That's what I'm gonna look at that. Here's one. Do you manage your own property or hire a management company to do so?
I created a virtual assistant company to run the back end of it. So that's really easy for me to, I sign a lease, I click DocuSign. It takes me just a few minutes to do things. I have my own staff now. So no, I do it myself, quote unquote, but I have a whole team underneath me. And that team, at least the back office team, is available to other people as well.
Yeah. So here's a question from Bola. I call Bola our SJREI cheerleader, but she says, what if you want to do this, but you don't have the money because this is for real amazing, right?
And you know what I'm going to say, create an investment.
Yeah.
That's the answer to financial freedom. Just like a banker doesn't use any of their own money, and they go make all the money they want. So it's just a shift in your thinking. Create an investment, do it with a partner, and you can quickly pay them back.
Talk to friends and family.
Yep. Because I'm showing you the data. You're driving past these extended stays every day. You can go on Helium and .com and see it. It's ready. All you need to do is just get out of your comfort zone a little bit.
I get it. So for Helium, what if your address doesn't come up in the honeycomb location? Does that mean it's off grid, or what does that mean?
It oftentimes there's a little lag. Oftentimes there's lag, or type in another address that's close by.
There's one about one from Sammy there. I don't know if you see that.
Oh yeah. So Sammy sees 5 Helium locations in his area. So this would work in his case, right?
Well, you have to look at the height of the antenna. It's pretty crowded. 5 is pretty crowded. Everyone's sharing the reward that they're giving you for putting the data onto connecting the sensors to the internet. So it might be overcrowded, but there's opportunity if he's able to get the right height to communicate past those guys. Depending on the mountain terrain and things like that, I would have to look at it.
I get it. So are workforce rentals generally one tenant per house, or in your experience, do tenants share houses? Does that work out too?
I've had one person in places. I have a whole fiber optic crew in larger places. So it's all over. They're usually come as one entity, one group. Large groups need them because they want to pocket more of their housing allowance. So they're willing to, a crew can get each one per bedroom instead of 2 per hotel room. So they're all over it.
I've also had a 5-bedroom house rent out to a bunch of nurses that all work at one hospital. Like they're all traveling nurses, and 1 or 2 of them will hear of it and they bring in all the rest of them. So
Grand slam.
Yep.
Yep. But the important thing is that they bring them in, that you're not imposing on them.
That's right.
Yeah, that's the key.
I think there was a question earlier. I'll go back, but the essence of the question was, from your experience due to, pandemic, right? Is this still working? Is this still active? The lack of corporate travel?
Extended Stay America went on to make in 2020, they did a quick dip in their occupancy, but went back up to 80%, which is their standard, and went to make $96 million. And they were so profitable to proving that they're pandemic proof that Blackstone went and bought them from public to private. And the same thing, more hotel chains are 1/4 of everything they're going to build is a furnished rental or extended stay because it's so profitable. And that's why Airbnb is touting that this is the only stable thing. If you don't take my word for it, take the CEO of Airbnb saying that's the only stable thing.
And Sammy, that was your question. Did that answer your question? He's asking, what's your experience so far in post-COVID limited corporate travel days?
We were full before, we were slammed during COVID, and we're still packed right now with people. The demand outstrips our supply.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so on my house, I have one house that I converted the upstairs into an apartment, and I converted the garage into an apartment and rented the house. And I'm telling you, we are full all the time, and I'm still getting even nurses who have stayed here and moved on that are coming back asking if they can get back in. So my clientele is mostly nurses because we're near a hospital. So definitely valid.
Hey, CB, you, okay. I thought she had a question.
CB has a question. She said, how much do you pay for the service? I don't know if it's the virtual assistant service or what service.
So for the virtual assistant service, I'll only take you if you have 5 units, because I want to make sure that we're creating way more value than we're charging you. And it's $250 per month for us to work your back in.
So how about the cleaning fee and all those things? Did you take into that consideration already? Or like?
So cleaning fees are passed on. You know, you get that cleaning fee up front from the person. That's not included.
Oh, from the
in your
tenant.
rates. Yes.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. In fact,
I can give firsthand validation that what Al teaches works, because not only do I have one entire house in 3 units that we rent out, I just bought my second one up in Antioch, and I have my 3rd one in San Jose. So I'm telling you right now, what he does works.
Cool.
And it's way easier than Airbnb.
flavor for
All
sure.
right. All right.
Great
So if there's
questions.
no
Thanks,
more, if there's no more questions, we're going to go ahead and close out.
Laurie?
Has anyone, especially POC, know about this? I don't know what POC is.
I don't know. Oh, I see. People of color.
Oh, I don't know. I can't be the only one.
Okay, so are we suggesting buying a property for corporate rental or for sub renting?
You know, just like Marriott, they do just like Marriott. They own some, they operate some.
I get it.
If it works for them, it works for all of us too.
I get it. So CB has her hand up. Go.
I wonder if Laurie will allow me. I am doing a assisted living comfort.
This is no, we're not doing that tonight. Sorry. Thank you, CB.
No
Yeah.
problem. That's why I
Next
want
time.
We can set up a separate meeting for that. This is about what we're doing here with the extended stays.
completely understand. Thank you.
Anyone have any more questions? Put them in the chat.
Well, I look forward to seeing you guys next week in the mastermind groups here with Al, and I encourage you to go ahead and scan the QR code with the cute little dinosaur. And Jeff, did you have something else you wanted to share?
You know what? I just wanted to hog this whole next 10 minutes with the helium thing. So no, I better not. So
okay. You can take that offline. All right, so I want to thank everybody tonight. I want you to be encouraged that there are answers out there for the uncertainty in this world. This is one of them that Al is presenting, and so I encourage you to sign up, and I look forward to seeing you next week on his mastermind calls. So take care, everyone. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.